Hello everyone, before we start this video, I just want to mention one more time that this video is only for educational purposes. So the other day I was doing something on my Ubuntu machine that we can see here, and I just wanted to transfer a small piece of the code to my local machine that I work most of the time, and I don't have anything installed here that I can quickly do that. There is no Discord, I'm not logged into the Google, so I can send email or do something like that. So I found a really fast way to do it with this copy and pasting website, sorry. And then how it works, you input some data, you got 4 digits, then you go to your other machine, let's call it machine B, you go to machine B, input 4 digits, and there you go, you can get the data. So I assume that these services like this are most being used by the employees that have like local companies' laptops and companies' workstations. So they are not allowed to visit certain websites. When I say certain websites, I mean mostly ChatGPT. So let's imagine one scenario: developer is working on the code, something is not working, he wants to ask ChatGPT for the assistance, he goes to the copy and paste website, paste the specific code, which might have some sensitive information such as API keys, etc., maybe database username and password, and then he goes to his machine B, local machine, that he have access to the ChatGPT, take the code, ask ChatGPT, he solved the solution, but he might not be aware that somebody's listening and somebody's brute forcing this website all the time for the codes, because the codes are only 4 digits long, which is extremely easy to brute force, and they're not being tied in any sense of any kind to your session cookie, because there is no login mechanisms to the website. So I found this being extremely dangerous. I did some brute forcing myself. I found some interesting data that I'm going to share a little later using with blurred images, so screenshots, because I don't want to do it all while recording this video, because it can be, I don't want to expose anything sensitive or other data. So I believe there is some test data as well there, but let's go ahead and give it a shot to see how it works. So this is the UI of the website, and I'm going to use this Ubuntu machine just to showcase so that this is not being tied to any if you're on the same network or something like that, because it really makes sense, because if you're using company's laptop, you are most likely being connected to the VPN or something like that. So just to showcase this, you can see here, let me just go ahead and increase this so it's easier to see. So you can see here that I'm connected, I'm sharing the Wi-Fi or the cellular data from my iPhone. I hope you see there, while on my laptop I'm connected to my Wi-Fi local network, right? So I'm going to go ahead and navigate to this website on my Ubuntu machine. I'm going to input some data. I'm going to be given the 4 digits code. Then I'm going to paste actual input here, and then I can see this data. So let's go ahead and do this demo really quick. And then we can see that this is not being tied to where you're connected to your network so anybody can see this data from any network. So let's go ahead and give it a try. So I'm going to input some test data here. Code is being generated at the moment. I'm going to wait for the code to be generated, and I can go ahead and input it here on my machine. So it's taking a little longer. Okay, 4326. Hey, see, this is a TE. I thought I wrote this is a test, but you got the idea, right? So what I did, you can go ahead and do the same thing with using the Python or using the Burp Suite. So I captured the request, as you can see here. Let me just put this down. There is a request being made, and hey, if we send this to repeater, if we send it again, there is a really simple code. You enter the code, and then all the data goes to the text area. So if we navigate to the, if I can write, so you can see here in text area, this is a TE, which is supposed to be, this is a test, right? So all the data goes to text area. Just to confirm that, we can go ahead and inspect the elements on the website. We can see text area is where the test goes. So you can go, I fired up the intruder, and you can see that I was able to brute force, I was using the brute forcer, and there is many codes without any kind of restriction, authentication, or authorization. I was able to get some data. I'm not going to share data one more time. I'm going to include the screenshots, which are going to be with some interesting data. They're going to be blurred as well, but you got the idea. So what's really interesting as well is that you might wondering like, all right, nobody's going to fire up the intruder and keep indefinitely running just to steal data, and that's correct, right? But there is a Python script which is extremely easy to write. So I wrote a really quick Python script. I can go ahead and get it out so you can see how it looks like. So we got a scanner here. There is a simple import of the request and Beautiful Soup for parsing. You got the code. Of course, this is not really very well scripted, right? It's badly formatted, but just for demo purposes. So I'm making a request. I'm going to print out the whole request text so we can see it together. Then I'm going to comment it out. So we are only seeing interesting parts, which is in this case text area. So I'm going to use Beautiful Soup to parse this one, extract the text area, and if something fails, we're going to say request fail, right? So let's go ahead and use this code that we have here, so which is a 4326. We can go ahead and edit the script. And 4326. Let's go ahead and switch this one. So let's go ahead and run it. And the interesting part about this one is you can see here, because I was using so much while testing this initially, I reached the limit. But even though I reached the limit, I'm still able to see the results. So, which really confirms my thinking about somebody can go ahead, write a Python script with a while loop, and then take the text areas, extract it with a parser, and then write out the small text file with Python script and keep it running for days. Because there is certain limit you can run intruder, right? It's going to reach 10,000 requests because there is only so many combinations of 4 digits. Total gives us the 10,000. I can show it really quick, so you can see it here. It's a pause right now, but this line goes all the way to 10,000, right? So it doesn't really matter. You can go ahead and create a condition using the while loop, keep running for days, extract the text area to text file, and then you have the nice text file that can be really just information. So even though you got blocked here, you can see I've reached the limit. Let's go ahead and modify the script a little bit. Let's go ahead and comment out this line of a code, which is going to print out the whole, not the status code, but let's go ahead and print out the request.text. And then let's run the script again. And hey, I got 200 response code, and I got this is a TE, which is supposed to be, this is a test, right? So even though I'm blocked, even though I reached the limit, I still got what's in the text area, which makes this really vulnerable to brute forcing. There is no any kind of a rate limiting. It's supposed to be, some kind of limits. Why I'm not getting the rate limiting here? Because burp automatically spoofed my IP address. So if I turn off the Foxy proxy and I go ahead and navigate to the copy paste one more time, yeah, I'm going to see, hey, are you overreached the limit? Probably, yeah, you can see here. So I'm not even able to use a service. But it doesn't really work when it comes to scripts, right? So if you have to do that, if you have to copy and paste the data from one machine to the other, this is just informational purposes video, right? This can be a extremely dangerous way to do this. It's not only about this service specifically. It can be, I didn't check all of them. I know that some of them are very well secured, requires you to log in. And there is instead of this 4-digit code, you will get a long string, which is really hard to brute force. And it's actually going to be for a specific amount of time. Here in small text, it says that, hey, they are going to automatically clear what you saved once a valid passcode is entered. But I don't know how much is that true, because we saw that I entered the code a couple times via the script and via the UI, and it's not clear, right? We can go ahead and turn the Foxy proxy is still on. You can go ahead and refresh this page. We can go ahead and enter this code again. So 4326. All right, it's not working anymore. But if I go ahead and refresh the page, turn on the Foxy proxy again. I guess it was a glitch there. Let me refresh the page. If we enter the same code one more time, 4326, I don't know if it's actually going to be deleted. Yeah, it's not deleted, it stays here, even though if the valid copy and paste code is entered. So either consider moving to the more secure way of doing this, or not doing it at all, but stay away from services that they sacrifice authorization and authentication access control mechanisms overall for just this. If you have to copy and paste on random data, you know that it's not really secure. There won't be security concerns about it, right? Go ahead and do it, right? But if you have to transfer the code or something that can be sensitive, consider doing the other way. Okay, there is a copied, and then if we delete it, the new code is being generated. I just realized that, right? But or if you have to do this absolutely by you're just forced to do it this way, there's no other way for you and for your use cases, go ahead and at least copy and delete it like I did just a second. I wasn't even sure how it worked out before, but you can go ahead, take something, copy, and then delete it. The new code is actually going to be generated, and that won't be stored in, I guess, some kind of a memory of the website. So yeah, that's one approach. This is once again just for informational purposes and just for you to be aware of it. And yeah, thank you for watching, and don't steal other data. Bye.